Earlier today, Teutopolis took on University High, and all their shots fell as they defeated the Pioneers 65-54 in the first semifinal game. And then in the second semifinal, Carrollton High School ran away with the win against Stockton High School by the score of 59-37. It's Teutopolis against Carrollton in tonight's Girls Class A championship game. Lisa Prati with the IHSA Network. This is the 25th annual IHSA Girls State Basketball Tournament, and we are very happy to be bringing you the Class A championship game between Teutopolis and Carrollton High School. Both teams are very, very excited about being in this game, and of course, both teams have waited a long time to get to this point in their season. And as you can tell, the teams are coming out right now, and the crowd is just going wild because they know they're going to see a lot of action on the court tonight. And the only place that you're going to be able to see this is right here on the IHSA television network. So for more on tonight's game, here are your announcers, Kurt Pegler and Bernie Charo.
Thank you very much, Lisa, and welcome to championship night in the IHSA Class A Girls Basketball Tournament. Kurt Pegler and Bernie Charo with you live here in Normal, Illinois on the campus of Illinois State University at Redbird Arena for Carrollton and Teutopolis. Teutopolis going after its 6th championship and Carrollton going after their 1st.
And that's the one they actually want. You can feel the excitement behind us. The Carrollton fans are so excited. Across the way we have T-Town. Both teams are very determined to bring home that #1 trophy. They want to be #1 in the state of Illinois.
Let's take a look at how these two very fine basketball teams got here to Normal. First, Carrollton winning the Southwestern Sectional and then beating Breeze Central in a matchup between #1 and #2 teams in the state. That was for the Super Sectional Championship. In the quarterfinals, they knocked off Monmouth, and earlier today in the semifinals, they eliminated Stockton. Meanwhile, T-Town beat Flora and Oakland in the sectionals. One indicator in the super sectional, beating Moweaqua Central A&M. And then once here on the Redbird Arena floor, beating Ileana Christian on Friday and Normal University High School this morning in the semifinals. There are several key players in this game, but first when you talk about Teutopolis, with all those weapons, you start with Katie Wentz.
Katie Wentz, phenomenal player, excellent perimeter shooter. She averages 15 points a game. She scored 17 this afternoon, and she will be a dominant player this evening.
Absolutely. She has been terrific. Meanwhile, for Carrollton, they start 4 seniors and 1 outstanding freshman in Amber Shelton.
Amber Shelton is the type of player that can seal her defense, score at the post position, or she can go outside and have a nice jump shot. She averages 17 points a game. She scored 17 this afternoon. A freshman, 52% shooting percentage. What more can you say?
She can do it all, and she is just a freshman. All right, let's break this game down, Bernie. Let's talk about the keys. First of all, for Teutopolis, what does T-Town have to do to walk away with its 6th state championship?
T-Town's going to have to stop the inside game. That means shut down Amber Shelton. And they're going to have constant ball pressure, 32 minutes of constant ball pressure. They're going to have to maintain their perimeter attack and have that balanced scoring that they talked about earlier this afternoon.
Meanwhile, Carrollton, again, looking for its 1st ever state championship. What are the keys for the Lady Hawks?
I talked to Lori Blade. She also said balanced scoring. I have 3 girls that can score. We want them to score, all 3 of them. Defense is the name of the game. If you could get your defense to play the type of game that they want to play, they are only allowing their opponents 35 points on the average in the tournament. Senior leadership would be Karen Brannon and Laura Moss. Karen Brannon, playmaker. Laura Moss, exceptional shooter.
It's a terrific matchup. Both teams have earned their way to state, and they've earned their way to play for a state championship tonight. Carrollton at 33-1, and Teutopolis at 28-8. It should be a terrific matchup here for the Class A Girls State Championship. And stay tuned. We've got all the action of Carrollton and Teutopolis live from Redbird Arena here in Normal. The Class A Girls State title coming up. The road to Normal ends tonight at Redbird Arena. We'll crown a new Class A Girls State champion in a few minutes. It's Carrollton at 33-1 and Teutopolis 28-8 playing for the 2001 Girls State title. Kurt Pegler, Bernie Charo with you. The Litchfield High School Band is the featured band here at Redbird Arena. We're running a little bit behind schedule because the third place game, won by Stockton High School over Normal University High, ran a little bit late, so we're still a few minutes away from tip-off. In fact, both teams have just taken the floor to get in some warm-ups. Let's show you where these two schools are in relationship to each other and in relationship to tonight's championship game here in Normal. You see where Carrollton is located. They're coming from the Alton area. They're coming up from the southwest to get to Normal. And Teutopolis, as we mentioned earlier today, they know this route in their sleep. They've been here so many times from Effingham County. Dennis Custer's team going after a 6th state championship. Our sideline reporter tonight is Lisa Aprati. Let's go to her now. Lisa.
Kurt, I'm here with Susie Day, a huge, huge fan here at Carrollton High School. And Susie, you actually have some history with Carrollton High School yourself.
I do. My daughter played basketball about 15 years ago for the Carrollton High School.
That's wonderful. And when did you actually graduate yourself?
57.
1957? So do you try and follow them through as many tournaments as Carrollton goes to?
I haven't missed any.
Not one?
Not this year. I haven't missed any this year.
That is amazing. Talk about just the response that the school gets from the parents and the students that come out here to watch these games.
We have a great following with the parents and all the other ones that's involved with the school. I have some real close girls out there that I really are partial with, and I really enjoy both coaches. I do anything I can to help them, and I think that helps a lot whenever the community backs them in any way that they can.
That's great. You had to be really excited then in the semifinal game against Stockton this afternoon.
Very much so, yes.
Now tell me a little bit about what did everybody talk about after that semifinal game just to get ready for tonight's championship game?
How relaxed the girls are playing, how they act like they're enjoying the game so much. The coaches act like they're very relaxed. I think that kind of goes along with the girls when the coaches shows the relaxed atmosphere that they're in right now.
Well, Susie, you look very relaxed right now, too, for this being a championship game. But I'm sure in a few moments, she's going to get very exciting here for Carrollton. Kurt?
Yeah, all right, Lisa. The house is packed with excited fans for the Class A state championship game. Again, it's Carrollton and Teutopolis, which will duke it out here in a few minutes for the Class A title. Here's a tale of the two cities. You see the towns that feed into Carrollton, Carrollton and Eldred, founded 1823, 2,900 in Carrollton and about 290 in Eldred. In Greene County with an enrollment of 279. They're in the West Illinois Valley Conference. Meanwhile, Teutopolis, T-Town, founded in 1847, roughly a population of 1,400 in Effingham County with an enrollment of 472, and they represent the National Trail Conference. So they're both coming from separate parts of the state, but they have one goal, and that is to win the state championship.
Both coaches, as I spoke with them this afternoon, they made it very clear to me. They said, Bernie, we want to go home with that trophy, the one that says first place. Carrollton's never done it. Coach Custer has said, we've done it before, but we want to continue to do it. He starts his program in the 3rd grade, Kurt.
Think about that.
3rd grade, so that's why these girls are so fundamentally sound. This afternoon, every girl that shot, her body was very square to the basket. Pure shooters, they know what to do with the basketball. They read the floor very well. With Carrollton, their defense has to be what I think has gotten them here. You cannot practice against speed. So when you try and simulate speed, it's impossible. Just take a few minutes when you watch the game and watch the footwork of the girls from Carrollton. Their defense will be the key to tonight's game.
There you see Lori Blade as she's helping her team through its warm-ups, and the team captains are meeting with the officials to go over some of the ground rules and get things all talked out as they shake hands and get themselves ready for what we hope is a very entertaining Class A state championship game. Certainly on paper, this game has what it takes to be a good one. The officials that'll be working tonight's game, Jimmy Dean, Terry Holloman, and Sam Paradata. You see them in the middle of your screen as they just wound up discussing a few of the rules with the team captains, and we're about 4.5 minutes away from getting this thing started here at Redbird Arena. when you talk about Carrollton, you talk about their appearance here. As we mentioned, they're going after their first state championship. It's their 5th appearance. Their best finish was back in '99, a heartbreaking overtime loss in the championship game. Meanwhile, Teutopolis, this is getting old hat for Dennis Custer. 12 appearances, 5 state championships, 86, 88, 89, 90, and 95. That 1988 team was a perfect 32-0, and you know how impossible that is these days anymore to go unbeaten in a season.
It's very tough, and Lori actually talked about that '99 season, and she basically said that Karen Breenan and Laura Moss were able to remember that and bring that with them. They were undefeated, and their only loss was in the championship game.
Yeah, these seniors at Carrollton have had a couple of heartbreaking postseasons when you think about it. They lost in overtime in '98 in the state quarterfinals to Sterling Newman, and then lost in this game that we've been talking about in overtime, the '99 state title, to Nokomis, and finished 35-1. A tough way to finish your season. Let's take a look at the team matchup here between the Lady Shoes and the Lady Hawks. As far as their offensive numbers are concerned, Carrollton actually scores 5 more points per game than T-Town. Their defensive average is both very good defensively. Carrollton holding teams to about 36 points and T-Town to 41. But when you start getting into the percentages, that's when things really start getting interesting.
And, you know, again, you look, they match up very well on paper. It looks like it could be a coin flip either way. But from the coaching perspective, I've always liked to preach defense. I think whichever team comes out and establishes a defensive game will come out on top tonight.
Well, defense is what both coaches have preached. Both teams have said their defense fuels their offense, and we've seen that certainly in the games in the quarterfinals and in the semifinals here at Redbird Arena, where both teams love to pressure you, they love to play the whole 94 feet, and they want to get up and down the floor and get in your face defensively.
Right, and, you know, I think when we get to the point where they do start to play some half-court offense or play the half-court game, Carrollton's going to try to pound the ball inside because they have been very successful with that. Coach Custer really wants to prevent that from happening.
You see the Hawks mascot going at it. Both teams have brought a nice contingent of fans. They really support their girls basketball in T-Town. As Bernie said, they started when they're in 3rd grade, and Carrollton really has a nice fan base that has made the trip to Normal as well. Both teams will be going for this state championship trophy. That's a look at the 2001 Class A state title trophy. The winner of tonight's game between Carrollton and T-Town will take that back to the school and put it in the trophy case.
The best part of that trophy is down at the bottom, that big space that says first place, and there's room for everybody's name to be on that trophy. It's a great feeling to be able to take that home.
Well, when you roll the balls out in November for the first day of practice, you hope that you're playing on the last day of the season. There were 4 teams that started today playing on the last day of the season, and only 2 are left. That's Teutopolis and Carrollton. And we mentioned the other 2 teams that played, Stockton and University High School, both losing in the semifinals and playing in the consolation game, which preceded this final, with Stockton beating U-High 58-45. So Stockton is your 3rd place team, and University High School from Normal is your 4th place team. And it's really been an entertaining set of days when you think about the games, and Stockton and U-High played very well.
I am so impressed with Stockton because they only have truly 6 players that either come off the bench or start the game. They do have 4 substitutes, but they see very limited time. And I think that Stockton did an exceptional job coming out of their loss this morning and taking home that 3rd place trophy.
Both teams now leaving the floor as they've had their final warm-up tosses, as we'll get set for the starting lineups. Nice crowd filing in here to Redbird Arena. The Class A state championship from Redbird Arena here on the campus of Illinois State University. Carrollton at 33-1, and Teutopolis, the Wooden Shoes, at 28-8. And again, as we mentioned, Stockton beating Normal University High School for 3rd place. It's been a great tournament so far in 2 days here at Illinois State, and we certainly hope it'll be a terrific championship game tonight.
Do you have anybody you're going to pick, Kurt? What do you think?
I'm going to sit on this one for a little while, Bernie. I'm glad you didn't put me on the spot 8 seconds before we went on the air. I'll say this. I really think that when we looked at the brackets, we looked at these 2 teams getting through here and the 2 teams heading. And I think Teutopolis, if you take a look at their huddle, they did what you're supposed to do. They had the first game on Friday, the first game on Saturday, and now the last game on Saturday. I think as a head coach, if you can get your team in here and win on Friday and get that extra rest, that's exactly what you want to do.
It is definitely an advantage. And Carrollton tried to downplay the fact that they had to play quickly after this afternoon.
All right, folks, here's our national anthem.
What so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave.
We are now just minutes away from the Class A state title game. Carrollton and Teutopolis will bring you the announcement of the starting lineups. And for that, let's go to the public address.
2001 IHSA Class A Girls State Basketball Finals. First from Carrollton, 5'6" senior, number 20, Karen Brannon. From Teutopolis, the 5'11" junior, number 10, Alicia Ordner. For Carrollton, a 6' junior, number 21, Alicia DeShazer. For Teutopolis, a 5'10" senior, number 14, Lisa Lundy. For Carrollton, a 6' junior, number 22, Justine Tucker. For Teutopolis, a 5'9" sophomore, number 32, Rachel Kemi. For Carrollton, a 5'6" senior, number 24, Laura Moss. For Teutopolis, a 5'6" sophomore, number 34, Nikki Glover. For Carrollton, a 5'9" freshman, number 34, Amber Shelton. And for Teutopolis, a 5'7" sophomore, number 40, Katie Wynn. The Carrollton Lady Hawks.
And there you have the starting lineup for both teams. Taking a peek inside that Carrollton huddle, Lori Blade, the Carrollton Lady Hawks head coach, in her 7th season, 198 wins and just 24 losses. She's taking her team near to normal for the 4th time in 6 years. And Dennis Custer, 19 years on the job at Teutopolis, got his 500th career win earlier this season. 518 wins and 55 losses, and a tradition which can stack up against anybody in the state, Bernie.
Boy, I can't imagine what it would be like to win, 90% of the ball games that you play.
Let's take a look again at those starting lineups brought to you by Country Insurance. DeShazer was terrific in the semifinals. Shelton, Tucker, Brandon, and Lauren Moss for the Carrollton Lady Hawks at 33-1. Meanwhile, Teutopolis, Ordner, Rundy, some veteran leaders. Kemi, a sophomore who was very big in the semifinal this morning. Blummer and Went in a terrific backcourt. On paper, folks, this looks like a terrific basketball game.
It's so exciting, the atmosphere, you could just feel it. The emotions are just coming out right now. The girls are ready to play.
Teutopolis in their gold uniforms with navy trim. Carrollton in their dark green uniforms with black and white trim. And the tip is controlled by really nobody, and they might have to jump it up again.
Yes, they haven't established a
Have they established any possession?
Nope.
Nope.
They have to re-jump it.
We'll re-jump it. We just kicked 4 seconds off the clock. So let's try the whole thing all over again. And this time it is controlled by Carrollton. Lady Shoes in a man-to-man defense to start the game out. Underneath, the first shot of the game by Amber Shelton is in.
First pass, they pounded inside. That's exactly what they want to do.
Shelton is the freshman that we told you about at the top of the broadcast, a terrific scorer, and that is option number 1 typically in the Lady Hawks offense. And now Teutopolis in its first offensive set. Carrollton showing a man-to-man D on Shoes as well. Rundy double team. Now it's Kemi from the outside. Missed the shot, tipped and controlled by Carrollton as it's DeShazer that comes away with it.
Well, it's interesting that Alicia DeShazer is slowing down a little bit. They're going to work the pattern half-court offense, take their time. Coach Blake told me that they want to really work the ball inside. There you go.
Nice pass down low.
Karen Green, and excellent assist.
Brandon to Shelton, and a quick timeout by Dennis Custer.
That was a phenomenal pass. Karen saw her immediately. She sealed the defense. Solid pass inside. Coach Custer was not happy.
A 4-0 Carrollton start as they jumped the gun and scored a couple of quick baskets. And they've done exactly what they said they would do. They came in and they said, we're going to go to Amber Shelton at option number 1, and let's see if you can stop it.
Right, and you know, what are you going to do? Because Coach Custer told me the key to his game is to be to shut down the inside. And they scored both times immediately.
So with a 4-0 lead for Carrollton now, Teutopolis brings the ball up the floor. Both teams will show you full court pressure. Katie Link may have dropped it out of bounds. Yes, she did.
That was a turnover.
And so the first turnover of the game against the Lady Shoes. And Carrollton with a 4-0 lead has possession of the basketball. We're just underway in the Class A state championship game here at Redbird Arena in Normal. It's Carrollton and Teutopolis for the 2001 girls Class A state title. Both teams are very patient offensively too, Bernie. You're not going to see many mistakes. There's Brandon. Well, just when we say that, she throws it away, but her pass that time was intended for Justine Tucker.
It was a good idea, a smart pass to make, just slip through the fingers.
And a substitution now. Anna Blovernich comes in the ball game for Teutopolis, and she'll send Rachel Kemi to the bench.
I think they're going to try and counter with Anna's size to get inside defensively.
Work on Amber Shelton. We've played 2 minutes here in the opening quarter. It's 4-0 Carrollton. Jump shot is no good that time by Ordner, and T-Town is still without a point. Lady Shoes forcing the Hawks to extend that offense beyond the perimeter. In the corner to DeShazer. She can score both inside and outside, and has been a terrific threat in the 2 state games so far for Carrollton.
Karen Greenan being very patient, directing the offense just the way a senior should.
And a foul that time on T-Town's Blovernich. She got too much of the body in on this play.
I think she tried to position herself from behind rather than cutting the cutter. We try and teach the kids cut the cutter as they move to the ball rather than responding after the pass.
Entry pass goes in. A short shot that time was missed by DeShazer, and it's Blovernich that comes away with it for Teutopolis.
That was a great rebound by Blovernich.
Teutopolis still trying to get on the board for the first time. Ordner's pass down low goes off the fingertips of Blovernich and out of bounds. The second T-Town turnover.
Both teams trying to get the ball inside.
T-Town showing just token backcourt pressure. You like to call it nuisance pressure.
Nuisance press. That's what you want them to make the mistake rather than you trying to put too much pressure. Right. Sometimes it works.
And especially maybe early in the game when both teams are still feeling each other out. Give and go that time. Brandon with a nice down pass down to Shelton, but Shelton couldn't get the shot. However, she's fouled, and she'll get back to the free throw line as Bluvernick picks up her second.
One of the things that I thought about in the first game, how many assists has Karen Brennan actually not gotten because of the fouls that are being called on people that are going to the basket? But she made that move. She allowed that player to cut behind the defense. It was excellent pass.
And Bluvernick goes to the bench in favor of Kelly Carlsberg. Shelton is the freshman, 5'9", averaging better than 16 points and 7 rebounds a game in her freshman year. And that free throw rolls in. And it's a 6-0 Carrollton lead. And a timeout on the floor with 4:44 to go in the first quarter. Carrollton shutting out Teutopolis 6-0. Time for a network break here from the Class A final in Normal. Basketball fans, you can check out the IHSA website at www.ihsa.org. Information on all the state finals and all the events under the IHSA umbrella. That's at ihsa.org. Here in the early going, it's been Carrollton controlling the pace of this game. It's 6-0. They lead the T-Town Lady Shoes.
Well, really, the score is Amber Shelton 6, T-Town nothing.
Teutopolis has to find a way to stop Shelton. Few teams in the state so far have. Katie Went lost the ball that time. A steal by DeShazer. And the third turnover now. T-Town's had a rough time getting things going. Which is exactly the opposite of what they did in their semifinal today against Normal University High when they jumped out to an 11-0 lead. And a short jumper goes down by Shelton. She has all 8 of her team's points. Now Blummer breaks the press herself and takes it all the way down, and she's fouled.
One of the problems that Teutopolis had yesterday was this exact thing. They really couldn't get into the flow. They couldn't get into the mix. And Coach Custer has said these kids are very, very young, and they take this roller coaster ride. They play to their abilities, and then they limit themselves. And exactly right now, that's what's happening. They're not playing on the same page.
Blummer gives T-Town its first points of the game. Her mother, Angie, was one of the very first girls to ever play high school basketball at Teutopolis when they started the program.
I think she was the first original point guard to play for Teutopolis.
What a history that town has with its girls basketball. And Blummer makes both of her free throws, and it's 8-2, and T-Town's on the board. And there's a backcourt foul that time whistled against Blummer.
That was so smart for Karen Brennan. It was like a little cat and mouse. She wanted her defense to get a little bit, you know, on her heels, and then she just took her with a solid dribble and caused her to foul.
That's her first, and Teutopolis' third here in the opening half. It's 8-2 Carrollton. We've got under 4 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Brandon dribbled into the corner, but got it out, and now Shelton was open just momentarily before Rundy stepped in the passing lane, came away with the steal, takes it all the way down, lost the ball on the floor, and it's out of bounds to T-Town.
And if you would point anything out, the one mistake that she did make, and that's a freshman mistake, she stood and waited for the basketball instead of moving to the ball. You know, you always tell the kids, move to the basketball.
And Rundy, as a senior, did a nice job to step in the passing lane and come away with the interception. And now the Lady Shoes trying to take advantage of that turnover and turn it into points. Here's Katie Wentz jumper that rolls in.
Carrollton mixed up the defense a little bit and went into a 2-3, and Katie Wentz read that and split the defense up at the top.
First 2 for Wentz, and they've cut the lead in half now. It's 8-4 as Wentz kicked that ball on the half-court trap press. Again, if you've just joined us, this is Carrollton and Teutopolis for the girls' Class A state championship. Amber Shelton of the Lady Hawks has all of Carrollton's points. She has all of 8 of their points, and Teutopolis has now 4 consecutive points to get back in this game.
I think Teutopolis has cranked up the defense just a little bit. They're starting to feel that they need to push it just a little bit more so that they can get some transition baskets.
DeShazer leaves for Shelton. Brandon open momentarily. Now it's Moss at the top of the circle. Teutopolis moving well on defense, but that time it's going to be a foul on Alicia Ordner. She came over and got Amber Shelton on the back.
That was really excellent anticipation for Alicia Ordner from the weak side. Just a second sooner, she would have had that pass.
First on Ordner, fourth on Teton. Shazer gets to the foul line. Pull-up jumper is off the back of the iron and no good, and cleared that time by Rachel Kemme. And now Teutopolis, which at one point trailed 8-0, has a chance to pull it within a basket if they can convert here. It's still a feeling out process, I'm guessing, Bernie, here in the opening quarter.
Right, they're trying to actually see which pattern works best against Carrollton's defense right now. He told me he has 10 offensive sets.
That being Dennis Custer.
Yes, Coach Custer.
Baseline jumper from Wint won't go down. DeShazer had it knocked out of her hands, but she got it back, and now she leads the break for the Lady Hawks. All the way down. She's going to take it herself and put it in.
Oh, what an excellent move by Alicia DeShazer. She's one of my favorite players. I said earlier in the afternoon, she does so much on the floor.
Scores inside, scores outside, and scores on the break that time. That ended a 4-0 Teutopolis run. 10-4 now in favor of Carrollton. Under a minute and a half here in the opening quarter. Pass that time almost picked off, and getting caught on the weak side help on the foul was Laura Moss. That'll be her first and just the second whistle against the Hawks.
That's really not a bad foul because she was really trying to get the steal, had the hand in the passing lane, and just caught a little bit of, the offensive hand.
I think the one thing that we both like about both of these clubs is the fact that they've got so many different weapons. It might be Amber Shelton as the #1 go-to person, for example, for Carrollton, but they've got weapons. They can beat you from so many ways, and so can Teutopolis.
Well, both teams are so aggressive. I just love how they attack the basket and they attack the offense. So you see so much on both sides of the floor.
And that foul now is whistled against DeShazer. Her matchup with Alicia Ordner is going to be terrific throughout the course of the evening.
I think so because both of them, neither of them are, concerned about bumping. They like to get position and they're not afraid to be physical.
Third team foul now against Carrollton. Rundy's turnaround jumper is short, perhaps partially blocked. It was, so the Lady Shoes will maintain possession.
Lisa Rundy is the type of player that she could score with her back to the basket. That's very difficult to do.
Well, that's what we talk about. Rundy and Ordner and Wentz, so many different weapons that Teutopolis has that you really can't concentrate on one of those players. And Kemme just walked. She hesitated momentarily, and that cost her the violation. Kemme off to a slower start than she was in the semifinal this morning when she single-handedly knocked down Normal University High School with her sharp shooting. From the outside, a three is short that time by Laura Moss, and it's going to be Rundy that comes away with it for the Shoes. You see the time in the corner. We're under a minute here in the opening quarter of the Girls Class A State Championship at Redford Arena. Carrollton 10 and Teutopolis 4.
He has his set now. It was a 1-3-1 offensive set, which he would want to try and actually work the ball to the weak side and hit a backdoor cutter, but she threw the ball out of bounds.
And that pass is a turnover that time against Kemme, who has 2 consecutive turnovers and 5 now for Teutopolis in the opening quarter. Under a half minute to go. Lob down low to Shelton, who posted and turns and shoots and misses, and it's tipped back out, and it's going to be Brandon that reloads the offense for the Hawks. Now under 10 seconds here in the opening quarter. It's Moss. Time running out. 2 to shoot. They're not going to get a shot off. That would be good if it goes, but Alicia DeShazer shot does not. And we're done with the first 8 minutes of the Class A State Championship game. And Carrollton has staked itself to a 10-4 lead over Teutopolis. Back with the second quarter after this local break.
Welcome back to the IHSA Girls Class A State Championship game. Carrollton in the lead right now, 10-4. But both Carrollton and Teutopolis both started off in their semifinal games dominating on scoring. Believe it or not, Teutopolis had 26 points in the first quarter, and Carrollton had 20 points in the first quarter. It was after the first that both of them started tapering off to about 10 to 15 points in the second and third quarter. But tonight we're not seeing that because of the tough defense on both sides. They're doing an excellent job containing the scoring right now. And we're just going to see an excellent game. It's going to be a lot closer in the semifinal game that we saw earlier today. Back to Kurt.
Well, Rachel Kemme, who was instrumental in that 26-point outburst in the first quarter against U High, back on the board as she hits that jumper for T-Town and pulls the shoes within 4 at 10-6. Boy, we've seen that sophomore. When she can light it up, Bernie, she brings a whole new dimension to the T-Town offense.
And I really think it was critical that she hit that shot because she is such an excellent shooter. But she was very nervous in the beginning of the game, and I think that's going to calm her down just a little bit.
Yeah, that'll make amends for the couple of turnovers that she had in the last 2 T-Town possessions. Now it's DeShazer through a crowd up with the right hand and in.
What an excellent move by Alicia DeShazer. She went to the right, solid crossover, cut through the lane and scored with a left-handed layup.
4 points now for DeShazer, a 6-point lead for Carrollton, 12-6 here in the second quarter at Redbird Arena.
Alicia Ordner wants the ball. She's like, come on, give me the ball, give me the ball.
She gets it on the low block and draws a foul that time as she spun, and it looked like Katie went, or I should say Brandon got in. Karen Brandon got her on the hand. In the first quarter, Carrollton shot 50%, T-Town shooting just 20%, which was one of the reasons why the Lady Shoes had a difficult time scoring. And when you take a look at what happened earlier today, when T-Town shot 61% in the first half against U High, it was certainly a tale of 2 different games. They started quickly against the Pioneers and not so quickly here against Carrollton.
Very uncharacteristic for T-Town to have that shooting percentage.
Shelton on the long offensive defensive rebound, brought the ball all the way down the floor. It was knocked out of her hands, but the Lady Hawks will retain possession.
Teutopolis was really able to come down and shut her off. Their defense has been able to stop that type of penetration.
Nice pass into Amber Shelton. Missed the short shot, got it back, missed the rebound shot. It's DeShazer with the offensive board. Her fadeaway jumper's no good, but she's going to go to the foul line. Well, when you get 3 cracks at it on the offensive glass, good things are going to happen.
And one of the things that Coach Custer mentioned, you know, boxing out, he says they are so strong, they move so well, and they manipulate themselves so well inside the lane. They're going to have to put a body on a shooter. And they didn't do that time.
Alicia Ordner whistled for her second foul, much to the chagrin of Dennis Custer. Meanwhile, it's Alicia DeShazer to the foul line now, where she makes that first free throw, and the second one is good as well. DeShazer now with 6 of her team's 14. The total scoring is 6 from DeShazer and 8 from Shelton, so they've divvied up the scoring between the two of them. 14-6, the Carrollton advantage as we approach the 6-minute mark left here in the opening half.
Alicia DeShazer wants the ball again.
There's Ordner backing in on DeShazer, and she's now going to get to the foul line. The two Alicias guarding each other.
Right, that was
what
confusing
a
me.
matchup.
I was like, wait, I said the wrong Alicia.
And so it's Alicia Ordner at Teutopolis, the 5'11 junior, to the foul line. After a 13-point performance this morning against U High. She's 63% from the foul line. Free throw is good. And we see a substitution now as Dana Carter comes in and sends DeShazer to the bench. And Ordner now with the second free throw, and that is good as well. So she makes good on both of her free throws.
Both teams shooting very well from the free throw line. They haven't missed.
Cut that Carrollton lead down to 6. Yeah, both teams are 4 out of 4 from the free throw line. And a turnover for Carrollton that time as Katie Nolan dribbled the ball on the sideline.
Lori's not too happy about that. She's on the sideline telling them, take the ball to the middle of the floor, see what you have, pick your head up, don't put your head down.
Third turnover against the Lady Hawks now. who still on a 6-point lead at 14-8. They've never trailed in this game. Wentz, now to Ordner, and Ordner turns the ball back over.
I thought that was an excellent move by Alicia Ordner. She came all the way across the lane.
And now we'll see Teutopolis again with that full court pressure. Neither team really, I'd say so far, Bertie, has been bothered by the pressure of the opponent, but none of the opponents have really just put it on him yet.
Right, this will be interesting because this isn't nuisance now. He's doing a full court denial. They're backing up a little bit. Maybe there you go. There's a nuisance right there. He's going to hedge a little bit, try and get him to pick up the ball and pass in a gap area so that they can steal that pass.
But Carrollton breaks that full court pressure as we approach the 5-minute mark left here in the opening half. They have a 6-point lead in the basketball. There's a three that's missed that time by Moss, and the long rebound is tracked down by Dana Carter.
I'm not sure that wasn't a forced shot. They need to really be patient. Their game plan was to work it inside, and they've sort of pulled away from that.
Certainly they have, because Amber Shelton has got very few touches after she ripped off the first 8 points of the game.
Right. They're forcing some shots from the outside that they really don't want to take. There you go.
Inside to Shelton. Couldn't get the shot. Offensive board and stick back that time by Justine Tucker.
Justine was in excellent position. You know, Amber just pushed that shot up instead of powering it up. But Justine was able to rebound the ball, keep the ball up, and score.
And somebody other than DeShazer and Shelton in the scorebook now for the Lady Hawks. Here's Rundy. Her fadeaway jumper is short, and the rebound is controlled that time by Nolan. Here she comes, and she's got a wide-open Tucker ahead of the field for the lay-in.
They caught Teutopolis on their heels. They tried to trap the rebound when, in essence, what they're actually doing is allowing that break because Carrollton can see the floor. They have excellent guards, probably, you know, the best guards in the state right now. They're in the championship game. You don't want to make that trap and anticipate that she's going to turn the ball over and leave the backcourt.
Timeout on the floor, 18-8. Carrollton with a 10-point advantage thanks to this lay-in by Justine Tucker. A network break here from Redbird Arena. Our score. Carrollton with a 10-point lead over Teutopolis here in the second quarter of the girls' Class A state championship game.
You know, Kurt, I'm looking at the stats, and you could just see that Teutopolis is really struggling. They're 2 for 8. They really can't generate their offense for a lot of reasons. Some of their shot selections aren't very good, but I think Carrollton's defense causing them some problems.
The Lady Shoes need some of that offensive firepower that they had this morning. Maybe Katie Went can answer. She missed the three. Kemi is there for the offensive board. And
nice rebound. Excellent rebound by Rachel Kemi. She had excellent position. That's what Coach Custer wants them to do. Don't have one shot and not get the board if you're going to miss that shot.
And Kemi, after a slow start, now has 4 points in the quarter and appears to be getting more involved in the offense. 8-point Lady Hawk lead. Carrollton with the lead and the basketball. Both of these teams, again, with some solid senior leadership and some good underclassmen as well.
Laura Moss directing the floor, telling them what she wants them to run. It's almost like a delayed pattern offense where they're just weaving in and out, hopefully looking for that inside pass.
And Shelton had the ball taken out of her hands by Kemi and a foul. And the T-Town bench can't believe it.
That was a little late whistle.
We break down the scoring so far here in the second quarter. You see that Shelton and DeShazer really have been doing the bulk of the scoring for Carrollton. Teutopolis has 4 from Kemi and then 2 each from Ordner, Glemmer, and Wentz.
And for Teutopolis, that's excellent balance, but they have to continue the scoring. They just have to attack the basket.
And Shelton now adding to that total as she makes that first free throw, 69% free throw shooter. There you see her average is over 16, almost 17 points a game as a freshman.
I just can't believe she's only 14 years old. That just is amazing.
We've seen some terrific freshmen here in the Elite Eight in Normal, and we were saying earlier today that we might be seeing many of these same teams back here next year because of their underclassmen. Rundy's turnaround jumper for T-Town is no good. Ordner, the offensive board, aggressively done and nicely done as she shoots in the rebound.
Nice job by Alicia Ordner. There's a lot of banging going on down there, Kurt. I like to see that because they really are fighting for position. First with the post up and then second to get a rebound.
Carrollton still with an 8-point lead now in the basketball. We'll have a couple of Teutopolis substitutions at the next whistle. A couple of players ready to check in. Shelton again off the glass.
You know, I really like that offense. I think I'm going to write it down and take it home with me. I like how they spread the guards and get the defense to work their pattern, but then they dish the ball inside so well.
Shelton with 12 of her team's 22 as we're at the 2-minute mark left here in the opening half. On the other end, it's Kemi the miss, but a rebound basket that time by Lisa Rundy.
Lisa Rundy was really in a good position to put that ball back up.
Both teams' offenses now appear to be hitting their flows, and they're crashing the boards.
Well, I'm hoping Teutopolis is able to adjust to this because they're not doing anything different. They've scored 3 times now with this pattern where they're weaving in and out. When the ball's up the top, they're forcing it in the inside. When the post seals her defense, she's able to get it inside.
Laura Moss, the jumper from the perimeter is no good, and a foul against Carrollton on the rebound. And it's going to be Nolan that's whistled for that infraction. That's going to be the 6th against Carrollton, so we'll start seeing free throws now, as the Lady Shoes will be in the bonus from here on out. Ashley Esker is now in the ball game for Teutopolis for the first time tonight.
No, I think Teutopolis really needs to take advantage of that. If you're in the bonus, then don't take perimeter shots. Work the ball inside, attack the basket, try and draw the foul.
Ordner header, shot snuffed out of there by Shelton.
There you go.
And there's a foul going, a loose ball foul that time on Laura Moss going for the loose ball.
This puts them in a position where they can score without the clock, and that's what they want to be able to do.
So that's the second personal now. Whistled against Moss. And again, both teams now in the bonus, so Alicia Ordner is back to the foul line for the Shoes, who have yet to miss a free throw. Perfect 4 out of 4. Both teams are perfect from the foul line so far in the first half. And there's our first miss of the evening. And Amber Shelton gets the defensive rebound, but she turned the ball over as she brought the ball up the floor.
She did, and I'm surprised she even passed that because she was able to, she's an excellent dribbler. She could take the ball down the floor.
Lisa Rundy coming back in the ball game, and Alicia Ordner takes a seat next to Dennis Custer on the T-Town bench. 1:12 to go here in the first half. Carrollton leading 22-14. The Lady Hawks with a 33-1 record have led throughout, jumped out to an 8-0 lead. But since that time, T-Town has played right with them.
Carrollton changed the defense out of that dead ball.
Offensive foul whistle against Kelly Carlberg.
And that's exactly what had happened. T-Town didn't read the defensive change. They went to a man-to-man defense, and excellent defense by Carrollton to draw that foul, charging foul.
Exactly 1 minute to go here in this first half. You know, since that 8-0 run that we mentioned the Lady Hawks had, the game is 14-14. It's been a dead even game since the Hawks jumped out to that lead. So you can tell how important it is to get a good start here.
Right.
You don't want to be playing from behind.
Right. They're doing that weave again. Ooh.
And a turnover that time as Dana Carter lost control of the ball and threw it away. And that's the 5th Carrollton turnover. 41.2 to go here in the half.
Again, Teutopolis is going to have to make sure that they're discussing this because one of them thinks that it went off of Kitty Went's foot, but
and they'll stay with the initial call, and it'll be a turnover against the Hawks. And so Teutopolis will bring the ball up the floor. You see the time in the corner. Under 40 seconds to go here in the opening half of the girls' Class A state championship game here in Normal. Rundy spins and scores.
that was such a nice move by Lisa Rundy. She was able to seal her defense and just sit and power up the shot.
And now we'll see what Carrollton can do with this possession. It's Amber Shelton. She threw the ball into the corner and threw the ball away. As Teton comes up with it, now with 7 seconds to go, can the Lady Shoes take advantage? 4 on the clock. 2 on the clock. Won't get a shot off. And Teutopolis could not take advantage, but does get a little bit of momentum heading to the locker room. But it's Carrollton that heads to the locker room and has a 22-16 advantage after 16 minutes of basketball. Lisa Prati standing by with Dennis Custer.
Coach, Carrollton capitalized on about a half a dozen of your turnovers, but your team is really going solid towards the basket, really fighting for the score.
Well, we're not running. Right now, we're not getting our stuff going out there on the offensive side of the floor. If we don't stop and turn around and think about what we're doing out there on our offense and go inside when we got the opportunity to go inside and look for that three when we have that opportunity. Right now, we're not doing that. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to attack it around the perimeter, and hey, we got to go inside on them. And we're not
Thanks, Coach. Thanks very much. We still have a lot of time left in this game. We still have a full second half. Back to you guys.
All right, Lisa, Dennis Custer's team has a little bit of work to do. Carrollton leads Teutopolis at halftime, 22-16. It's halftime here in the Class A Girls State Championship. And we'll step aside for this network break on the IHSA Basketball Network. Halftime of the Class A State Championship game with Carrollton leading Teutopolis 22-16. And as tradition at halftime of the state final game, the medals from the consolation game being doled out. Right now, Normal University High School, which finished 4th in this season, getting its medals. A terrific season for Bob Morris, who is next up here on the podium. Let's listen into the public address announcers. The players are up next for UHA.
Number 10, Megan Fischhauser. Number 12, Amanda Curtis. Number 14, Ashley Pistorius. Number 20, Tiara Brown. Number 32, Maggie Ummel. Number 44, Emily Meyer. Number 54, Mary Recius. Number 30, Jasmine Hunt. Number 42, Hannah Michael. And number 24, Shelley Farnsworth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pioneers of University High School, the 4th place finishers in Class A.
A terrific season for Normal University High, which finishes 4th and receiving its medals for the outstanding season. And now the Stockton Lady Blackhawks get their chance to get their 3rd place trophy. And let's listen into that ceremony.
Athletic Director and Head Coach, Terry Korth. Assistant Coach, Troy Joseph. Scorekeeper, Deb Huso. Statistician,
We're going to have a lot of extra
Busky.
medals to take home with them, Kurt.
Manager, Emily Korth. And the Stockton players, number 10, Jody Wolf. Number 11, Erica Young. Number 12, Lindsay Kramer. Number 15, Trista Vinheisen. Number 20, Allison Timpey. Number 22, Chelsea Eilders. Number 23, Copper McPeak. Number 24, Stephanie Drain. Number 30, Marcy Jackson. And number 31, Rachel Korth. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blackhawks of Stockton High School. And now will Coach Bob Morris and the captains of University High School please step forward to receive the 4th place trophy.
Shelley Farnsworth and Hannah Michaels hoisting that trophy up with Bob Morris, the head coach. A 4th place trophy for the U-High Pioneers, who have some very good underclassmen and could be making some noise in the tournaments to come in Class A. And a 3rd place trophy for the Stockton Lady Blackhawks of Terry Korth, who put together a tremendous run to get to the Elite Eight here in Normal. And a deserving ceremony for both these teams, Bernie. It's nice to see the recognition that the teams that don't get to the finals receive.
Absolutely. You know, you could see they were crushed when the game was over because they didn't want to end their season with a loss. But look at the smile on their faces. It just tells you so much that all the hard work is paid off. They're one of the top 4 teams in the state of Illinois, and you can't beat that.
And you know, at the beginning of the season, when they rolled out the basketballs on the first day of practice, if you'd have told them you're going to finish 4th in the state, they'd have said, I'll take it. They might be a little upset, and there certainly were some tears shed that these 2 teams did not get to the championship game, but boy, they certainly are having a good time tonight.
Absolutely.
22-16, Carrollton leads Teutopolis in the Class A state championship game at halftime. Let's step aside now for a local break. Back in a minute.
Yes, I'm here with a very courageous lady. It seems back in the late 70s, Teutopolis High School did not have a women's basketball program. Wendy Hockenhorst did something about it. Wendy, what did you do?
We went to the school board and told them that we felt that we had enough athletes that we could support a program, and when they okayed it, the first year we had 52 girls come out for the program.
Okay, and tell us about those early years, those early stories that you were telling me about earlier.
Well, the first year we had a 7-game schedule. We only had blue uniforms, so we had to be the away team even when we were at home. If the boys had a basketball game, they would take the warm-up balls, and we'd have to ask the opposing team if we could borrow some basketball girls to warm up, or basketballs to warm up with. And the second year we were very successful. We lost in the sectional final by 1 point.
Okay, I'm also with Angie Blummer. She is Lori Blummer's mother, right, who is starting for Teutopolis.
Yes, Nikki is my daughter, and I started in 78, 79, 80, 81.
And it's very interesting, but who did you play against?
Lori Blade.
Okay, what kind of player was she?
She was a very quick little guard, point guard.
Have you had a chance to talk with her since then?
No.
Okay. All right, well, thank you so much, and that's all I got for you right now, and we'll be back after these messages.
Unfortunately, we were not able to get Lori Blade. She is talking to her Lady Hawks right now. Of course, they're in the lead 22-16. She's very excited and, of course, very intense right now with the second half of the game. Back to you guys.
All right, we'll see what happens here in the second half. It's Carrollton 22 and Teutopolis 16. Let's take a look at those first half statistics, a telling story. Carrollton really started out shooting the ball well, cooled off a little bit, but 8 out of 18 from the field, 6 out of 16 for T-Town. Nobody has made a 3 yet. Both teams shooting the free throws very well, but Carrollton with 4 more rebounds. That's 4 extra shots.
And I think you said it earlier, Carrollton came out with that 1-2 punch on that 8-0 run, and T-Town hasn't been able to, you know, come up beyond that. Watch this play. She's going to run a sideline out-of-bounds play to score, and this is the difference. This is what you do in a state championship game. You have plays for everything, and this is what impresses me about Lori Blade and the Lady Hawks.
The Lady Hawks start the second half with the basketball in their green uniforms with white trim, and the lady shoes of T-Town in their gold uniforms with navy and white trim. And we are ready for second half action here in the Class A Girls State Championship game. It's Carrollton with the lead and the basketball to open the half. See if they go inside again to Amber Shelton, which is exactly how they opened the game. Shelton scored the first 8 points of this basketball game. T-Town's not going to let her get her hands on the ball. Baseline jumper that time by the Chaser is no good, but the offensive rebound gives the Lady Hawks another look. Again, they look inside to Shelton, but can't get it to her. Teutopolis is not going to let it happen, Bernie.
Well, they're being very patient. I have to give them credit for that.
There's a lot.
There goes the patience.
Intended for Shelton and stolen that time by Alicia Ordner, who turned the pass away. And now T-Town with its first offensive possession tries to take advantage of the turnover.
This is a big possession for T-Town. To cut the lead for the first time to 6.
And we've got a traveling violation whistled against Nikki Blummer. That's the 8th turnover for Teutopolis.
2 turnovers to start out the half. Both coaches not happy with that.
That's not a good omen to start,
no.
to start the half.
Who wants it? That's what we need to see right now. Who wants to bring home that trophy?
Now you have that school of thought, Bernie, that the first 5 minutes of that second half is the most pivotal 5 minutes of the game?
Very much, very much.
There's Shelton down low. She gave it up to DeShazer, who scored.
That was a nice pass by Amber Shelton. She was able to see Alicia DeShazer on the right side.
An unselfish play translates into a basket. DeShazer now with 8 points to go along with her 3 rebounds. And it's an 8-point lead again for the Lady Hawks. And a foul that time as Rachel Kenny looked to step inside and hit the jumper, but it was Brandon that got her, yeah.
She came from the backside. I'm not so sure that that was very smart. But almost a little bit late in the sense that she was trying to go after the ball. I sense that both teams are playing in a comfortable fashion rather than an aggressive fashion.
Kemi is that 3-point shooting specialist who shoots free throws very well too at 72%, had 16 points earlier today, earning a start against U-High, and in that semifinal game was outstanding. It was really a big reason why the Lady Shoes got off to that big start.
And it's very ironic because Teutopolis only has a 37% shooting percentage for this game, and that's very uncharacteristic for them. They're excellent shooters. They're struggling tonight.
But the free throws making a 24-18 Carrollton advantage as Kemi makes them both. That's DeShazer. Skip pass across. Out of the hands of Moss, but she goes and gets. Under 6 minutes to go here, third quarter.
I'm noticing a lot of skip passes in the offense this quarter. Trying to reverse the basketball to the other side and then maybe attack from that point, seal the defense.
The shot is up and down that time by Justine Tucker. Left open, she took advantage of the foul line jumper. 26-18 now, Carrollton to the advantage. Tucker with 6 points. Almost spun herself right into a turnover.
And I'm not sure why she went into that position because she had nowhere to go with the ball.
Rundy setting a screen that time. In fact, it's going to be called an illegal screen. She tried to set a pick for Alicia Ordner.
Custer's not happy.
Yeah, Dennis Custer wants a timeout.
I don't know if he's more upset at the officials or the girls. The girls are in a position now where they can't let things fall apart. No one seems to know where they should be. They're not running any pattern right now. He's talking to Lisa Rund, his senior leader on the floor, and he wants her to generate some type of offense. He's telling them, you could see he's visually showing them, what are you guys doing? Where are you actually on the floor? You need to have your pattern. Establish a pattern, he said.
Well, the scoring numbers for Carrollton, again, we've mentioned the 1-2 punch. It's been Amber Shelton and Alicia DeShazer for 20 of the team's 26. Teutopolis has 6 from Kemi, Ordner, and Rundy, each with 4. So Carrollton has a 1-2 punch that right now Teton has not been able to stop.
They really haven't been able to stop them, but I think more importantly, Teutopolis has to get some type of offense generated. 37% shooting is not good in a championship game.
And now Carrollton with the basketball in this 8-point lead. The Lady Hawks have been very patient, trying to kick the ball into Shelton. A steal that time as Ordner came away with it. And a turnover for Carrollton is its 8th of the night. Here's Ordner now. Pull-up jumper from the foul line is short. Loose ball is on the floor. And it's Laura Moss that comes away with it for the Hawks.
No, I don't think that was a smart shot. Katie Went was on the right side of the baseline, really wanting the basketball, and no one saw her.
Ordner that time anticipated the pass, but got too close and got a foul that time as she knocked over Katie Nolan right to her own bench.
A little bit too close. Carrollton's running some backdoor cutters, which is really showing a little bit of confusion for Teutopolis. They're not sure where the cutters are coming from, and Carrollton's allowing a lot of movement on the offensive side of the floor.
26-18, Carrollton with the lead. Time now for a local break. Let's take a look at some of the athletes that are getting it done in the classroom as well. Scholar athletes brought to you by the Midwest Dairy Association, your local dairy farmer. Jasmine Hunt, a senior at U-High with a 4.0 GPA, #1 in her class. She's going to WashU in St. Louis to study pre-med, 9 varsity letters and 6 trips downstate. She was a terrific winner in her career at U-High. Meanwhile, Stockton's Lady Blackhawks also have somebody that's getting it done in the classroom. And there she is. That's Chelsea Eilders, a 4.0 GPA. She's going to Bradley to study accounting, the salutatorian of her class, and an IHSA academic athlete. That's your Midwest Dairy Association Scholar Athlete, brought to you by our local dairy farmer. Good to see those athletes getting it done in the classroom and on the basketball floor. Here in the state championship game, it's Carrollton 26 and Teutopolis 18. Under 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Kurt Pegler and Bernie Charo with you at Redwood Arena in Normal, where tonight we will crown a new Class A state champ. Will it be the Lady Shoes who are going for their 6th overall state title, or will it be the Lady Hawks looking for their 1st state championship trophy?
There's that cutter back door again.
Good hands that time by DeShazer to keep the ball in play. Neither team has scored now for nearly 2 minutes.
Amber Shelton's really working hard inside, sealing her defensive player.
And Katie Nolan with a kniving play to the basket, she scores.
Katie Nolan saw the read defensively and was able to attack that with a nice power move into the basket.
Her first 2 points of the night, and it's a 10-point lead, matching the largest of the game. And now Went on the other end, a basket and a foul.
And that might be just what the Wooden Shoes need, because this is a 3-point play that they need to compensate, and they need to be able to get this ball to fall. Excellent move. Katie Went solid inside, takes the physical nature of the foul, but puts in the basket. She needs to make this shot.
Went had 11 points on Friday and 17 points today, so a 28-point performance in the first 2 games of the state finals. She has certainly stepped her game up, and she makes that 3-point play and cuts the lead down to 7 for Carrollton, 28-21. As we approach the 3.5-minute mark left here in the third period.
T-Town putting on some defensive double traps up the top, trying to get some type of turnover.
Right at the half court. And there's
there
going
you
to be
go.
a double
That's
dribble against Katie Nolan.
That's what they need. Katie Went did an excellent job trying to force the offense to the left, and she double dribbled.
That basket by Went broke a 2-minute and 29-second scoreless drought for the Lady Shoes. We'll see if that ignites an offensive spurt for Dennis Custer's team. Down by 7 as we approach the 3-minute mark left here in the third quarter. Certainly T-Town needs to be patient on offense.
Very much so. They need to try and work the ball inside.
And there they
like
go to
that.
Alicia Ordner, missed the
Nice
shot.
board.
Offensive board that time, missed by Bluvernick, and they're going to be a foul on the rebound.
That's too bad, because Anna Bluvernick had excellent position. And I'm very surprised because, again, they are so fundamentally sound, but what they're not doing is they're not catching and holding the ball and then powering up. They're just pushing the shot back up, almost like it's a hot potato.
Lovernick leaves the game now for the Lady Shoes, who trail it by 7, 28-21. There's that pressure as soon as the Lady Hawks bring it across the timeline. Moss dribbles around to the baseline and then kicks it back out. And you've got Alicia Ordner with those long arms at the top of that pressure, that press. You certainly can come away with a lot of turnovers, and that's really what Teutopolis has done to get here.
They're being very patient with their offense, which is smart.
A near turnover that time again as Rundy went out. It's Katie Nolan now. Her bounce pass goes down low, and the shot won't go down for Tucker, and it's ripped down that time by Teutopolis. Coming away with the defensive board is Kelly Carlberg, and now the T-Town crowd on its feet trying to get its offense going again. It's Katie Wentz fadeaway jumper. It's no good. It was an air ball and went out of bounds.
And you know, I'm very surprised, Kurt, that Teutopolis is not using transition as a part of their attack to get back into this game. That was an excellent rebound defensively, and they took their time coming down the floor. They need to push the ball down the floor and try and attack Carrollton's defense.
These two teams met back on the 25th of November, a 58-56 Carrollton victory. That was a 2-point game. Carrollton's only loss of the season came to Nashville. But that was an exciting 2-point game, and now they're meeting again for the state final. And quickly, a timeout by Lori Blade. She didn't like the way things were going as her senior, Karen Brannon, almost turned the ball over.
Right, and what we try to tell the kids as coaches, you know, always be guard to guard, stay side to side. Every pass has a purpose. You don't, you have to have a penetration pass. You can't have a pass that goes side to side.
With it 28-21 Carrollton advantage. Here's some of the television networks that are carrying our game in Chicago, in Peoria, and Carbondale, all the way down the line. The good folks on the IHSA network and some of the cable stations throughout the great state of Illinois carrying the IHSA Girls Class A State Championship tonight between Carrollton and Teutopolis. We're seen all across the state of Illinois tonight. Carrollton has been held scoreless, by the way, for 3.5 minutes.
That's surprising. They came out in the first half.
Shelton's going to try and change that right now, and she does.
That was a nice move. She is so strong when she's able to sit on her defense because she could go right or left, and she has shown that to us tonight. 14
points now for Shelton. She's the game's leading scorer and just 2.5 points shy of her average. Rundy spinning, turning, shot rims out, tipped into the corner, and grabbed by Shelton. And now she'll just bring the ball up the floor herself. So much poise for a freshman.
Very much poise.
And now it's DeShazer on the baseline.
Oh, yes, Alicia DeShazer.
Karen Brannon saw her and slipped the pass to her, and suddenly it's an 11-point game. It was just 7 a minute ago. 32-21, under a minute to go here in the third quarter. And now Nikki Blummer gives it up to Wentz. T-Town really needs a basket here in the waning seconds of the third quarter.
They have to make it happen. They can't wait for something to happen.
Arlberg, turnaround jumper, no good. Gardner tries to save, and she does, with 25 seconds to go in the quarter. Now it's Wentz. Offensive foul.
That's an unfortunate break for T-Town because they were in a position where they could score. That was a great defensive stance for Carrollton, and that was one of the bullet points and the keys that we talked about, Carrollton's defense.
And now with 21.9 seconds to go in the period, it's Carrollton that has an opportunity to score before the buzzer. But Teutopolis traps, and Katie Wentz hands in there, comes away with a turnover on the held ball possession. It will be T-Town, and they'll get another crack at scoring before the end of the quarter. And quickly, Katie Nolan will check in now for Carrollton.
44, Katie Nolan enters the Carrollton lineup.
She'll come in, and she'll send Karen Brannon to the Carrollton bench. 12.2 seconds to go here in the quarter.
Now, neither teams have been aware of the clock when the quarters had ended previously. We'll see what T-Town could do with 12 seconds.
7 seconds to shoot now. Ordner, nice drop down pass that time. Carlberg couldn't get the shot. Ordner got the offensive board. A lot of bodies on the floor now, and that's the end of the quarter.
And you know, it's too bad because Alicia had a great rebound, but she brought the ball all the way down. You want to keep that basketball up, position it up so you can just power it to the basket.
3 quarters in the books, 8 minutes to go in the Class A state championship game. Carrollton 32 and Teutopolis 21. Back with the 4th quarter after this network break. Back here as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Carrollton leading 32-21. Let's show you some more of those scholar athletes that deserve recognition throughout the state of Illinois for their fine work in the classroom and on the basketball floor. Lisa Rundy of Teutopolis playing in the championship game. A 3.89 GPA. She hasn't decided where she'll go yet, but she wants to study meteorology. She's a Who's Who member, the Midwest Dairy Association local dairy farmer. And another one of those scholar athletes deserving recognition is Laura Moss of Carrollton. She's got a GPA of 5.0, 3rd in the class. She's also headed to Wash U in St. Louis where she'll study math. All-conference softball player and a National Honor Society member.
I wonder if the Washington University basketball coach happens to be watching this tournament.
And she's got a couple of players coming her way, that's for sure. 8 minutes to go in this game in regulation with Carrollton leading Teutopolis 32-21. The Lady Hawks in search of their first ever Class A state basketball championship. The Lady Shoes looking to add a 6th state championship trophy to their arsenal.
Again, Kurt, we talked early in the game that Carrollton's limited their opponents to 35 points, and that's being a key tonight.
And Amber Shelton has a chance for a 3-point play. She's been almost unstoppable down low, Bernie.
And that's because she knows how to handle her body so well. She's so strong. She squares her shoulders up. She keeps the ball up. Fundamentally, she does all the right things. I don't know where she learned to play the game of basketball, but she learned at a very young age, and she's doing a very good job.
And she certainly has learned how to score. 17 points now. She's right at her average of 16.7. She played on the 8th grade Carrollton State Championship last year, and now trying to lead the Lady Hawks to a high school Class A state championship tonight. A 14-point Carrollton lead. Alicia Ordner answers, and now it's a 12-point lead, and Ordner has 6 points now for Teton.
Now look at the miscommunication. There's only one player playing full court defense. Everybody else is back. This is the problem that Teutopolis is having tonight. They all have to get on the same page.
As we approach the 7-minute mark left here in regulation. Laura Moss almost got poked in the eye there. Now she draws a double team, and then she did get poked, and she's fouled that time by Nikki Blummer. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Lisa Prati.
I am here with probably one of the biggest fans for the Lady Hawks. Let me tell you, I spotted him right away. This is Rick Gillis. I think if Rick could have done cartwheels in his seat, he would have. I can tell you're so excited. Of course, you're getting everybody else just as excited for this game.
This is better than the Super Bowl. These are a great group of kids that we love to watch all year long. Our crowd's this big every game, and they're so much fun to watch. How can you not be this excited? It's outstanding.
And your whole family is here. You've been following them the entire time, and you also have cousins that played with Amber Shelton. Tell me about that.
Well, they're in 8th grade this year, 1 year behind Amber, and they played on the 8th grade team last year that won the state championship. So we got the privilege of watching Amber play last year. She's a heck of a ball player, but they're all great ball players, and they're outstanding young ladies as well. I would be proud to have any of them as my little sister.
Well, I have to tell you, your face looks great, and try not to hurt yourself up there. You're doing a great job. I'll send it back to you guys.
Well, the Carrollton fans certainly have a lot to shout about right now. Baskets by Laura Moss, and Amber Shelton have the Lady Hawks in front, 39-23.
Kurt, Amber Shelton is actually trying to put this game away for Carrollton single-handedly.
6:07 to go in regulation. A 16-point Carrollton lead in the Class A state championship game. Back with more after this network break. Teutopolis with 33 points had his previous lowest output against Mount Zion. That was back on the 28th of December, and right now T-Town having trouble scoring. Bernie held to just 23 points in the first 3 quarters and now 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. It's been a rough road, that's for sure, for Dennis Custer's team. The girls' Class A tournament is this weekend, the championship tonight, and the AA basketball finals next weekend here on the IHSA Network. March 3rd, the semifinals at 11, and a week from tonight at 8 o'clock, the championship game in the AA. We'll also have the Country Insurance Queen of the Hill. Check your local listings for your IHSA television network in your area. The fewest points in a championship game by a team is 29. That was Nashville against Teutopolis back in 1990. So T-Town has turned it on some people, and now they're having it turned on them by Carrollton.
They seem so hesitant offensively. They're not, you know, that pass was very lackadaisical, very telegraphed. You know, she's staring at the player she's trying to get the ball to, which is allowing Carrollton to read what pass is actually being made.
Well, Amber Shelton has lived up to every ounce of her billing. Lisa Rundy shot goes down. There's going to be a three-point opportunity for T-Town.
And I think Lisa Rundy, as a senior right now, has to start to be very verbal with her teammates and let them know that, you know, this game is not over. 6 minutes, that's a long time.
Yeah, we've seen some stranger things happen with that much time left on the clock. And as well as T-Town shoots the three, they can get right back in this thing. Rundy misses, but
nice
Ordner is there, and there's going to be a three-point play the hard way.
There you go. Alicia Ordner was in great position to actually rip that board off and put it back up. That's a key bucket.
A 4-point possession for Teutopolis on that trip down the floor.
On very limited time.
And now Shelton again on the give and go.
Oh boy, Amber Shelton says, nope, you're not going to do it.
21 points now for Shelton.
So fluid, her body is just so fluid to the basket.
She had 17 in the semifinals earlier today. She had 16 in the quarterfinals last night. So she's been a big-time player. There's Ordner down low to whistle before the basket, so that it's going to be a foul, and it's not going to count, that hoop won't.
I think that Amber Shelton's thinking maybe there's an MVP award. They get a car, you know, like in the NBA. Well, she doesn't have her license yet, but...
That won't happen, but certainly first team all tournament is without question coming her way.
Very deserving.
There's Rundy now. She kicks it back out to Wint. The short jumper is no good, and it's Shelton on the defensive board. She's going to take it up the floor herself. She's got 7 rebounds to go with her 21 points. And the Lady Hawks look to spread the floor, but look at those hands by Alicia Ordner coming back and picking off the pass.
She read that pass very quickly and was able to anticipate and steal that ball right away.
Long arms, and she snuck in and came away with that steal, the 11th turnover for Carrollton. And now she'll try to score on the offensive end. She forces up a shot, can't get anything to go. And now it's DeShazer. She's got Shelton on the right side of DeShazer. She takes it all the way down and missed the shot. Tipped in the corner, she got her own rebound. And now the Lady Hawks are content to reload the offense.
And they're going to be very patient here, try and take some time off the clock, which is really smart. Maybe not.
Brandon's three is well short. But it's picked up and shot back, and that is no good. And Shelton is there.
Shelton.
9 out of 14 from the field, 23 points.
She is everywhere.
And the largest lead of the game now at 16 points, 43-27.
Very forced pass.
And another turnover that time for T-Town as Ashley Esker forced a pass in that time to Ordner. It was picked off. Back come the Hawks now. And open underneath, and the lay-in is good that time again for Justine Tucker.
Things are starting to collapse for T-Town defensively. When they have a turnover on offense, they just watch the transition. They're not getting back down on defense at all.
T-Town continues to try to force the ball down low to Ordner. And there's a foul that time whistled against the Lady Hawks. And that's against Brannon. And that's her 4th, the 15th foul now against Carrollton. Now Rachel Kenny re-enters the game for T-Town and sends Ashley Esker back to the bench. Ordner, turnaround jumper, no good. Got her offensive
There
rebound
you
and stuck it
go.
right back in. Didn't give up on the play.
No, and that's the type of player Alicia is. She works very hard to get position, then she works very hard to get the shot.
T-Town putting all kinds of pressure on the backcourt, but now it's Shelton in the front court. Pull-up jumper, yep.
And there was a collapse in the middle of the press. When there's a trap in the backcourt, you have to gap that space so that does not happen.
She has 25. Ordner tries to answer. Her shot is no good, and DeShazer with the defensive rebound. And the Carrollton fan contingent is starting to count the seconds down as we're under 3 minutes to go here. 47-29. The Lady Hawks with the advantage. And there's Shelton, and she's going to get to the foul line, and she's fouled.
Karen Brannon saw Shelton posting up. Nice lob pass inside. You'll see Karen see her ceiling. The defense gets it right into her hands. And again, she's bringing the ball down. If she can keep that ball up, it's a lot easier for her to power into the basket by doing that.
Well, she missed a free throw, so she is somewhat human.
Yes.
That we're finding out. She's rapidly approaching her career high. She had a 29-point performance earlier this season, and with that free throw now, she has 26. That 29-point performance, in fact, came in the sectional championship game against Southwestern. Under 2.5 here to go now in regulation. There's Ordner, who snuck right through the double team and
That
scored.
was a very nice move by Alicia Ordner. She was able to split the double team with a nice step through to the basket.
And now Brannon with the long lead pass ahead to Tucker, who turned the ball over.
And luckily for T-Town, that turnover happened because, again, there is a solid collapse on their press in the middle of the floor.
2:15 and counting left here in the fourth quarter. Carrollton 48 and Teutopolis 29 for the Class A Girls State Championship. Blummer come up short, and that time it was taken right out of the hands of Katie Lentz. And Moss brings the ball across the floor now for the Lady Hawks, who are under 2 minutes away from their first ever state championship. Loose ball on the floor, and what will they whistle this time?
He's calling a foul, I think.
Yeah. Let's see who he calls it against. It looks like it's going to be against Carrollton. It will be against Tucker.
We always like to see, players go after a loose ball. It's very frustrating from a coaching perspective when they call loose ball fouls like that. I prefer jump balls in that situation.
And Dennis Custer is sending some of his reserves to the scores table. They'll check in and get a chance to play as Ordner is going to get to the free throw line as she draws a foul in the paint.
She's really struggling. The last 3 solid shots that she's taken, she seems to be falling to the floor instead of maintaining a solid base and powering up her shot.
There you see a quintet of Lady Shoes ready to enter. It's going to be like a change in hockey. Bring 5 fresh players on the floor if Ordner can make the free throws.
I will be so impressed with Carrollton if they keep T-Town to 35, 36 points. I did not think they could do that in a championship game, especially Teutopolis, who has excellent shooters.
Well, our country insurance player of the game is the freshman Amber Shelton of Carrollton. 26 points and 8 boards. She has dominated this state championship game as a 14-year-old freshman.
She has, and she's complimented very well by Karen Brannon, who is actually the senior leader with assists, but she does so much. Amber just does so much. She's so fun to watch.
And we're under 1.5 minutes left to go here in the state finals. 48-33, Carrollton leads Teutopolis. 2 terrific teams meeting for the state championship game. And Carrollton, which has had an outstanding season, is on its way to a 34-1 record and its first state championship trophy.
It's really fun to see that Carrollton has done this with only 2 coaches. A lot of these teams we've seen tonight, 5, 6 coaches on the staff, and they've done it with 2.
Under 1 minute now, and the Lady Hawks content on just playing catch on the perimeter. And certainly the Carrollton fans are starting to count the seconds down as well. And there's A timeout called by Lori Blade. She wants to get some of her other players in.
Right, and she wants to give the kids the recognition they deserve. Come off the floor, feel the crowd, hear the crowd. When they come off the floor, they're going to get a resounding applause that they deserve because they brought Carrollton the first place trophy. And Coach Blake said that's been our mission since we lost last year.
A lot of happy faces, a lot of smiling faces on that Carrollton bench. And the Teutopolis crowd has nothing to hang its head about because the Lady Shoes have had a terrific season. And finishing second in the state with 28 victories is not too shabby in the state of Illinois.
Not at all.
Now 30 seconds and counting left here in
Look how hard
regulation.
it is for Carrollton to be not on the floor. They want to get back on the floor.
Yeah, all their players are standing at the bench. Under 20 seconds to go now here. And there's a foul in the backcourt. And again, Amber Shelton, 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 out of 15 from the floor. Our Country Insurance player of the game. A terrific freshman at Carrollton has helped her team win its first state championship.
She'll be getting a lot of mail from some coaches here in the next few years.
Some of the records that will be set by the end of the night: the highest free throw percentage, Carrollton shooting 89%. Highest free throw percentage for both teams, 85%. They both shot the foul shots very well. And the fewest rebounds in a game. T-Town held to 15.
And you mentioned earlier, least amount of points, correct? Was it 39? I can't recall, but still 33 points in a championship game.
The final seconds ready to tick off here as Carrollton gets ready to celebrate a state championship. And there's the final basket. It'll be a 49-35 Carrollton victory. The Lady Hawks are first-time state champs.
This will take place immediately following the game. Please stand by for the award ceremony.
We'll show you some of this celebration when we come back. Carrollton celebrating its first ever state championship. Lori Blade has guided her team to a 34-1 Class A state title after a 49-35 victory over Teutopolis. Final score here in the Class A state championship game: Carrollton 49 and Teutopolis 35. Lisa Prati is standing by with a winning coach.
I'm here with Coach Blade, and Coach, first state title ever, which is fantastic, but your team did such a wonderful job in today's game, just did a wonderful job penetrating inside, stopped Teutopolis from actually shooting from outside on the perimeter. You guys were all around very effective.
The kids did a great job. We wanted to pound the ball inside and try to make them stop us in there. And Amber, I can't say enough about her effort, but the kids got her the basketball in great situations for her to score. But what an effort by all of them.
Well, you have to be really excited that you have Amber Shelton now for another 3 years, her scoring 26 points in the championship game.
Absolutely. She's something special, and we're glad to have her.
What does it feel like to win the state championship here for the first time?
I can't even explain it, and especially against the traditional powerhouse like with T-Town. What a great effort they gave us, but I can't even explain how happy I am.
Congratulations. I actually have Amber Shelton here right next to me, and Amber, what a performance tonight. You are a freshman, very excited to be on this team, coming off of a state championship team last year in 8th grade. What does this feel like for you?
It's awesome. It's really exciting.
That has to be wonderful. 26 points in tonight's game. You are a leader on this team. What did you tell your players before this game?
We just told her that we had to play 32 hardcore minutes and we had to move the ball and take the tempo and everything.
Well, Amber, congratulations on such a wonderful job. I have to send it back to Kurt, but what a great game here tonight. Back to you guys.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Yeah, Lori Blade talks so much about the heartbreak that her seniors had to go through. An overtime loss in the 98 state quarters to Sterling Newman, an overtime loss in the state championship game to Nokomis in 99. They were on a mission to get it done this year, and Bernie, that's what they did.
What a great way to end your season. You know, when you start practice and you remind them, do you remember what it felt like to lose? One of the best things I ever heard was when a coach said to me, losing hurts more than winning feels good. And I think they used that to bring them to this level tonight. Lori Blade has done an exceptional job with the program at Carrollton High School, and she has taken home her first state tournament trophy, and I'm sure it will not be her last.
And what we're seeing right now is the Teutopolis Lady Shoes being awarded their medals for an outstanding season. Second place in the state, 28 wins and 9 losses. The seniors will carry with them the memories of a terrific season, that's for sure. And we saw the sign several times tonight. Teutopolis is back after a 4-year absence. It seemed a little strange not to have T-Town in the Class A finals. They were back this year, and with a terrific sophomore class, they might be back again.
And Coach Custer had mentioned to me earlier in the tournament that they weren't sure how far they would get this year because of the losses early on with the injuries. He's very pleased that they were able to make it to the tournament. These girls have a taste of that now. They'll be back.
And again, the medals being passed out now. You see Nikki Plummer coming up and Anna Bliverneck. It's been a terrific year for T-Town. A 12th state appearance for the Wooden Shoes, who just continue to have a terrific basketball tradition, and just add this team to the list of outstanding T-Town clubs, finishing second this year to Carrollton. It never gets old, does it? They've been here 12 years, 12 times, and it never gets old on the medal stand.
And he's funny because he said, you know what, I'll take 18 championships. I'm a little selfish about that stuff like that. Because, you know, this teaches so much more than winning a championship. It teaches camaraderie, it teaches teamwork. It teaches girls how to set a goal, how to achieve a goal, and to always fight to get what you want.
And let's listen in to the celebration now as Carrollton accepts its state championship medals.
Athletic Director Greg Pullman. Superintendent Mike Berry. Head coach Lori Blade. Assistant coach Donna Farley. Scorer Alyssa Settles. Manager Courtney Symes. And the Lady Hawk players, number 20, Karen Brannon. Number 24, Laura Moss. Number 21, Alicia DeShazer. Number 22, Justine Tucker. 34, Amber Shelton. Number 10, Dana Carter. Number 12, Molly Reed. Number 30, Kara Gillingham. 32, Lauren Steckel. Number 35, Emily Pullman. 40, Casey Graham. 42, Nicole Meyer. And 44, Katie Nolan. And now will coach Dennis Kester of Teutopolis High School and his captains, please step forward to receive the second place trophy.
Celebration worthy of a championship, and now the trophies are being handed to the two teams. First, Teutopolis accepting its second place trophy after another fine season under Dennis Custer. And now the captains of Carrollton and head coach Lori Blade will walk over and accept the school's first ever Class A state basketball championship trophy. A terrific performance from Carrollton. As we said, Bernie, they came to Normal on a mission after heartbreaking losses in the 98 and 99 tournaments. They came here on a mission, and they're walking away with the hardware.
And think about it, Kurt. Amber Shelton last year was on a team that won the state championship as an 8th grader, and now as a freshman. Is she starting to set a tradition?
Carrollton celebrates a state championship after a 49-35 victory over Teutopolis. We're back after this local break. The party at Redbird Arena continues as the Carrollton Lady Hawks celebrate their first ever state championship after a 49-35 victory over Teutopolis here at Redbird Arena. Kurt Pegler, Bernie Charo with you. It's been a tremendous weekend here in Normal, and certainly a fitting champion in Carrollton. They had to go through Teutopolis, a team that has won 5 previous state championships. Great game on paper and a pretty darn good game on the court as well.
From day one, Coach Blade said defense brought us here, and guess what? The defense is taking them home. They played exceptional basketball the way it should be played, and boy, the town is sure happy.
The town is sure happy. It's going to be a wild ride back to Carrollton as they bring back their state championship, and again, a terrific season for Teutopolis. We remind you that the Class A Girls Championship is wrapping up. Next weekend, the Class AA Girls will crown a champion, and you can see it right here on IHSA Network. Saturday, March the 3rd, the semifinals at 11. The championship game a week from tonight at 8 o'clock. We'll also have the Country Insurance Queen of the Hill. That's the girls' AA state championship. And then the boys take center stage in Peoria at Carver Arena. It'll be the boys' Class A basketball finals. Friday the 9th of March, the quarterfinals, and Saturday the March 10th will be the semifinals and the championship, and we'll also bring you the Country Insurance King of the Hill in the Class A tournament. And the following weekend, the basketball season in Illinois wraps up with the boys' Class AA basketball finals at Carver Arena in Peoria. The 16th of March are the quarterfinals, and March 17th the semifinals and the championship, and of course, the Country Insurance King of the Hill. Here it's Carrollton 49 and Teutopolis 35. How about some final thoughts on this weekend?
Final thoughts. February fever, March Madness, catch it, IHSA.
It's been wonderful, a great tournament, and Carrollton beats Teutopolis tonight for their first ever state championship. Thanks for being with us. For Bernie Charo and our entire IHSA production staff, this is Kurt Pegler. Good night from Redbird Arena, where the Carrollton Lady Hawks are celebrating a state championship.